Hello and welcome to this special chat on NewsMobile. International students in the United States find themselves on a sticky wicket after the shock announcement by ICE, the US Immigration and Customs Enforcement, that slammed the door shut on students with F1 and M1 visas if their universities move to online-only instruction during the fall 2020 semester. Essentially, international students stand to lose their visas if their classes move to purely online classes. This move comes after US President Donald Trump signed an executive order barring many people on several types of visas, including H-1B visas, from entering the country till 2021. Now, leading universities like Harvard and MIT are suing the government over this move to extend or to offer, in fact, not to extend or offer new visas to students whose course load is entirely online. While many universities have promised that they will do all that they can to protect their international students and themselves, in fact, losing international students costs these universities dearly. Last year, international students paid nearly $45 billion in tuition fees. Chinese and Indian students are the biggest contributors to this income. Now, I have with me some bright young students who find their future plans muddled by the change in US visa rules. I have Devansh, who's joining me from Singapore. I have Shibya, who is in Boston, and Samrat, who is in New York. Thank you all for making this happen. We're all in different time zones, and I thank you all for adjusting your schedules to talk with me on this important chat. Now, first of all, I'm going to ask all of you to explain what is your current position. Samrat, I'll start with you. I believe you're studying in New York. What is your current position?
So thank you, Anisha, for such a good introduction. And so I'm Samrat Malik, and I'm studying in New York. So I just started with my second master's. Starting with my second master, all because of the coronavirus and because of whatever was happening, my decision was not to work and go ahead with my second master's because that was always my plan. So right now I just finished up my MBA in a double specialization, and I'm starting with my master's in supply chain management. So my current situation, everything was going smooth, everything was going smooth until this news came out that ICE and DHS plans to send in students back to our home countries because of the fact that if our course module shifts on an online system. Now, as per our talk with the professors and our deans, because I'm pretty close to the School of Business in my university, everybody communicated that, okay, you know what, things are going to be online. So because of the fact that, since till the time we can curb the situation, let things be online.
The situation is the coronavirus, right?
The COVID-19 crisis, absolutely. So because of that, now, suddenly this unfortunate rule coming in just spoiled literally everything and puts us in a strong dilemma that what is our future now? Like, we do not know what's going to happen in the next 1.5 months. Right now, I'm taking my summer classes, which are again online. However, my fall semester, it is in a dilemma because of the fact that although my university they personally told us, the president of the university, she quoted that, our school is going to go on a hybrid mode and going to be working from one student, from every international student as to how that course module will go, like picking one in-person classes and picking one online classes. But again, that leaves us in another dilemma of, avoiding the social distancing, what I think the entire world is trying to promote right now, to have social distancing. But at the same time, taking classes in person leads to another big problem. And if we are not taking that classes in person, do we go shift to another university? Do we go back to our home countries after invested like a load of money and load of time, effort, So completely changing everything, it's a big atrocity for us. So that's the reason our school emailed us saying that okay, we might be shifting to a hybrid mode, and when we might have one class online, one class in person, but at the same time, nothing is certain for now. I think it's going to take some time, maybe 10 days, 5 days, or we don't know. It's a very uncertain situation right now.
So, Shibya, you're in Boston and you're doing law. And where have you reached in your course? What is your situation? Were your classes all online, hybrid? What is happening?
Yeah, so I am I will graduate in August. So I am actually not hit by this current order of F1 and M1 visa. But my problem is that since I'm graduating in August and the fall quarter starts from August, and so earlier there was an order of restraining H1B and L1 employees. Now this order is restraining F1 student and M1 student. So these orders are affecting the market really badly. So when I am graduating and I'm looking for jobs, I'm seeing that market has shrunken a lot. So a lot of employers won't want to employ the international students because they have become paranoid, because they do not believe, they are skeptical. They think that it is going to be really costly, and with these orders coming, they are not confident that that international student would be staying in USA. So they are actually not planning to employ international students, which is going to be really, really bad for people like me who is going to graduate by this fall quarter.
All right. Devansh, you're in Singapore, but you study in the US. Did you always have an online class? What's your situation like?
Right. So I came back to Singapore March 17th of last semester, so midway through my second semester of my second year in college. And everything went online. And the stipulation for that was that the government had essentially given an exemption for the last semester and the summer, and that they said that your visa status as an international student in the US would be valid as long as you were enrolled in the college. Doesn't matter if you take online classes or not. Well, this was actually an exemption from the traditional rules, which doesn't allow online classes for international students. So now what they've essentially done recently is gone back to the original rules, which is in the current pandemic situation doesn't really make any sense because for me, they're essentially forcing me to go back to the US because my classes are hybrid in the fall. The USC released, I go to the University of Southern California, and they released a statement saying that the classes will be hybrid in the fall, so I will have to go back. And the reason that's a tough situation for me personally, I know this affects everyone differently, but personally it affects me in a way that I am an Indian citizen, but my family is based in Singapore. So in case classes go online in the US midway through the semester due to COVID-19, because that's a county-based decision, it's not an administration decision. So your county will tell the college, sorry, you have to go online. The cases are splurging. So in that case, international students will have to leave the country within 10 days. Now, for me, Singapore has travel restrictions for incoming travelers. What that means is that I may not be able to go back to my family. And I will have to go back to India, where I would have to go with my grandparents, and India has its own crisis going on with the coronavirus. So, I mean, it just
there are no
puts a lot of international...
flights. There are no incoming flights in India.
Exactly. So that completely puts not only me, but several other students in a difficult situation. Secondly, there's a second issue that if I stay in Singapore, if I choose not to go back to the United States, I can still take classes. But my visa situation will be void. They will wipe my records off the immigration system. Now, the way this affects me is that if I go back to the US, if I want to go back to the US in January, I would have to apply for a second visa. And that hopefully the embassies reopen. First of all, the US embassies worldwide have shut down indefinitely. However, even if they open and I am able to get a new visa for January, which it seems unlikely, but if I do, I will have to have 1 year of an active visa record to work in the United States during the next summer, which means that if I'm looking for internships, which I am right now recruiting and looking for jobs next summer to work under the CPT program, I won't be able to if I stay in Singapore and get a new visa in January because I'll only have 6 months of immigration records on my record. So that's two of the main issues that I'm considering right now. But of course, there's a lot of complications within that as well, and we're waiting for the MIT and Harvard lawsuit to kind of pan out.
Samrat, my question to you is this: Devansh decided to go back to his parents when the outbreak happened because the classes were online. All classes were online. I'm sure your classes were online too. You graduated. Now, why did you decide not to leave? Because people were scared. What was your thinking about starting another course?
So my thinking so there were a lot of things which happened along, right? So as I said, that I'm working with Mount Sinai Health System, which is one of the biggest health systems in the entire country. we had an understanding that, okay, I've been working with them since the last summer of 2019, and I was looking out for a full-time employment there. And because of the sudden COVID-19 crisis, I think, to be very precise, this was March the 17th. I had actually just got back from California, back to New York, and suddenly everything went on a lockdown. And I was kind of surprised that I was like that, okay, but that's fine. My job is, I will get my thing, and everything will be all right. But at the same time, talking to a couple of my superiors and all, they said that maybe this offer would not be on the table anymore. Okay, we don't know how this will go, because see, nothing was certain. So now, with my degree, my MBA degree is a non-STEM affiliated degree. So with a non-STEM affiliated degree, I get 1 year of OPT, and if I had started right there and then, I would have been a big problem, because I think we all understand here that once you apply for your OPT, you got about 2 months time period to find a potential job, and you got another 3 months of unemployment time period in order to secure again a job. But then that limits you to only
5 months. Yes.
7 more months of working,
Okay.
and takes you out of the H-1B application process. So if you look at, that's when I looked at this vision, and I was like that, okay, you know what? No, this is not going to work. This is not going to work, and it's going to put me in a major trouble, and it's going to stop all my other, because it's
11 o'clock.
Sorry about that. So I'm trying to set up my own, I have a business of my own, so I'm trying to set up my own brand as well. And leaving everything and going back to the home country, right, would jeopardize everything what I worked towards since the last 2.5 years. So
Okay.
I didn't want to do that. And I always had this thing, I think this was an idea which was conceived last year, looking at the global trends and the business trends as to, things was moving more towards the supply chain. I've had a diverse experience. I've lived in Dubai and worked there in different countries. So I wanted to always pursue that degree as well. So I was like, this is the right time to get into this degree. Now, to your question that as to why I didn't go back, I felt this one thing that I was like that, okay, you know what, my job is going on here, right? I am working remotely. I'm working from home. So that kept me technically busy throughout the week. And I was going back to the home country, working as per the time zones. That's absolutely, it's good. It would have been a big problem for me. And I did actually see a lot of my people who I know who they're on H-1Bs here and went back to India. It actually hampered their efficiency on their work, and because of that, people are fired left and right. So it's better to stay here and then deal with the problem, rather than. And I've got a fair share of family living here, so it wasn't like I'm away from my family. I have a very big family here, so that's the reason.
That's a silver lining for you, Samrat. Shivya, but for you, I'm sure law is not easy, and you put in it a lot to study law in the US. So when you went there, what were your aspirations, and now where do you stand? What is your plan now?
So like Samrat said, even I am on a non-STEM visa. So that means that I can work for 1 year after my graduation. So when I came here, I wanted to work here for 1 year, then go on for a bar exam and probably get certified here, like get the bar license here, and I'll be able to practice in USA as well. Now the thing is that my timeline is crunching, so I will be graduate, and as Samrat has explained, so I will graduate in August. I will have to have a job by October, and then I will have to sit in the bar exam by next February to be able to work here. Now the problem is, since there are no jobs, I don't know if I'll be able to secure a job by October, and if I'll be able to stay here in the USA to give the bar exam. So so you always have a timeline when you come in the USA. You always go through some timeline, and we Indian students, we are all aware of all these things. So we always pre-plan everything. And then COVID was in itself a big problem because it has affected a lot of things. But then came these orders, which is affecting it more badly. And yeah, so that is the case now. So I don't know what is going to happen in the future. I'm just keeping my fingers crossed.
All the best to you, Shivya. Let's hope something positive comes out for you. Devansh, what is your plan now? You are planning, since the universities have promised that they will protect the international students. They will come with some form of contact classes. So you're going to take the risk of COVID or whatever and go back. You will not have to apply for visas again, right? You have a current visa.
Yeah, so I do have a current visa. My visa is active, and as of now, the plan is uncertain because I've been in touch with my head of my department. So I am on a double major degree. So I'm pursuing business and environmental studies, which is a STEM degree as well. So I've been in contact with my dean and the department head, and they said that they're willing to make exceptions for international students where they will provide classes and encourage classes to be in person and in a hybrid format so that international students have the opportunity to come back to the United States. And originally, my schedule was all online, so I was kind of worried about the fact that I just won't be able to go back to the United States. And I spoke to my department head, and she said that you can take this class, it will count towards your degree requirements, and it'll be in person. And it should be a good option to take. I think for me, the biggest point comes down to the fact that I will essentially get deported if COVID-19 begins to really, really rise in LA, which it's been doing for the last month. So the trend seems to be there. And if classes go online, the USC will not have any say over it. It's going to be directed by the government. And at that point, it'd be like a mandated leave for all the international students at USC. So that part kind of concerns me because with the entire, it doesn't seem like any country is going to really relax their travel restrictions as of now. So that leaves me in a very uncertain position. I think it's going to be a last minute decision for me. It's not going to be something that I plan out whether I want to go back or not. It's just we're going to see how this lawsuit with MIT and Harvard plays over, and see if other colleges jump into it. And basically,
will you consider doing only hybrid classes, or only online classes that you were doing over the summer semester? Would you request your universities for that, so that you get your degree but you don't have to go back? Would you consider that?
So originally, back 5 days ago, technically all my classes were still online. And technically they are still right now. I haven't registered for any hybrid classes as of now, even though I have the option. So all my classes are online. What that means is that I can't enter the United States unless I register for a hybrid class. And if I can't enter the United States, according to the 5-month rule of the F1 visa, if you're outside the United States for more than 5 months, your F1 visa gets void, and your CVIS records, which are your records in the immigration system, are wiped. So what that means is that in October, and that time period starts around the beginning of summer, so May, and so which means that if I don't go back to the United States, I take all my classes online from Singapore, my visa in the US will be wiped around October, which means that I will have to reapply to go back in January and get a new visa. And then again, as I mentioned before, my visa status will only be active for 6 months before next summer. So it starts in January and then...
My question was, would you consider doing your entire education online now? Because there's so much uncertainty. I know you paid for a full-time course, and an online course can never compare to a full-time course because the on-campus experience, the learning is very different. But would you consider that, given so much uncertainty with the visa, etc., that this semester, next semester, the entire course you do online?
I think for me, from a personal standpoint, having that kind of visa security is very important for me. Knowing that I know what will happen in the next year is very important to me. So as of now, it seems unlikely that I'll be going with a full online course load because that leaves so many things up in the air and leaves so many things that I won't be able to control in next summer. So I don't know if the visas will, if the embassies will be open in the next few months. I don't know if my immigration record will be active for 1 year when I apply for my CPT, which is the visa I require for my internship next summer in the US. So there's a lot of uncertainties. So as of now, it seems like I'm going to follow by the regulations as they stand right now. So go back to the United States because I have my hybrid system and follow the visa process and follow the immigration process as it stands. But again, definitely it's an online classes I took last semester. They're not the same experience. They don't have the same environment and the same kind of nature that in-person classes have. So, I mean, sitting down with other students, studying in groups, engaging with people from other intellectual mindsets, and having those discussions is very important in any kind of college experience. And with an online experience, especially sitting in a completely different time zone, 15 hours behind LA, it's definitely something that is not covered by online classes.
Right. So I'm wishing all of you all the best. I hope there will be a good solution, a suitable solution, because international students actually fund these universities to a large extent. And let's hope that there will be a realization that when there is a pandemic, you cannot threaten international students like this, and there will be a positive way out of this. Shivya, Samrat, Devansh, thank you so much for speaking with us at NewsMobile and sharing with us your views. Thank you so much for your time.